Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to Space State Crypto. My name is Elizabeth Howard, and today we are going to be talking about Shibi Inu. I want to know what is going on with this project or what happened. What can we expect from it? And I just invited Limitless to come on, and I just sent him the link. So give me just 1 second. All right. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Did you guys buy into Shibi Inu? Let me see here. Let me say hi. See who is here. Army veteran cheeseburgers. What's up? Are you eating cheeseburgers or what? Monopoly, there you are again. Vault Bulls, very relentless. Monopoly will be the next Shiba special utility coming crypto with Will Beautiful thing in 2023. All right. Vault Bulls, how are you? What's up, Ken? Oh, what's up, my friend? I haven't seen you in forever. Hi. Welcome for tuning in. Welcome. Making true money. How's it going? Oh, we're getting a full space cabin here. Cool. What's up, Crypto San? How are you doing? Okay, guess who I have in the space cabin who just rang the doorbell? I have Limitless. What's up, Limitless? Sorry, I got that link to you late.
No worries. Yeah, how you doing? I'm doing great, thanks.
Oh, doing okay. It's cold here in Texas. Like, what the hell? We're supposed to have a winter storm. They sent it out to us, and it could knock out all of our internet. That's all I heard. I didn't hear anything else after that.
Crazy. It's
I
warm here
know
in
it is.
Connecticut, which is a little weird, but
Oh, see, I can't do it. Texas is supposed to be hot. That's all. So what's going on with this project, Limitless? What happened? I want to talk about this. I like this project. I bought into it, and then what happened? Can you tell us a little bit? Start wherever you want, Limitless. You're a legend in this space. You let me know where you want to start.
sure, yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people love Shibi Inu, myself included. I think it's an amazing project. I think the dev is really incredible, and he's very talented, and he's super based, and was working very hard behind the scenes, and still is. I mean, it's just Jeets, like unfortunately, like Shibi Inu. I found the project, I think maybe like a day after it launched or later on when it launched, when it was like around 20K market cap.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I found it in like a whale group. Somebody shared it, and I remember it, like I bought in at 20K, it dipped down, and then it went back up to like 30K. Then the evening came into play, and then it just, like, everybody sold that first night, and the Telegram was just dead. I mean, nobody was there. Everybody just dumped it all the way down to like 10K market cap. And I'm like, okay. Like, but I felt like there was more going on behind the scenes. Like the dev, he wrote this narrative about like kind of like a Shiba Inu that was a warrior who had been through a lot of journeys and had, come a long way in his path, kind of like using it kind of like a story to align with crypto, in essence of like having to learn about, getting wrecked in projects and learning about corrupt devs and all of that kind of stuff. So like I felt like the dev, there was more than meets the eye. And so I DCA'd when it was at 10K, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna DCA just because like nobody's here. This is dead. I'm like yelling at people. Is anybody there? Anybody want to talk? Like, what's going on? And nobody
Uh-huh.
was there really. And so I DCA'd, did a call on my channel about it, and said, moon or dust. Like, I feel like this project can go places, but as of right now, it's pretty quiet and it's kind of new, and everybody sold after the initial launch. So I don't know, but I'm gonna just continue to see what happens. And yeah, so I went to bed the next morning, got up, and some people had seen my call. There were a few buys, and we started to push it back up. And before you know it, it got to 30K, and then it got to 50K, and then it got to, over the course of a couple of days, it got to 80K, 90K, 100K. We went all the way up to 150K, and I'm like, all right, this is really solid. Like, but then people started selling, and then the sell pressure kind of overcame the buy pressure, and at that point people were starting to just like lose confidence in it, I guess. Like a lot of these micro caps, they don't survive past 12 hours a lot of times, and Shibi, it's going on a week now, which is for a micro cap Shiba clone type of thing, is pretty impressive, and so it got to the point where eventually we had to, like, we started to see the Jeets just like selling around that. I think between 90, it was around 100K market cap. It was just like dipping and dipping and dipping, and it's like, all right, we got to set a Jeet trap. So set a Jeet trap. And unfortunately, like, the Jeets were, and I found this out later, the people had gotten a hold of like an incredible amount of supply very early on. And so like there were some pretty questionable, like really bad call channels that were just like really bad Jeets, I guess. And I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not here to shame anybody or whatever. We've already been through that in the Telegram. But like these call channels, they apparently had gotten in at around a $3,000 market cap, and then they were just kind of sitting there in the background, not doing anything, like contributing a little bit, talking here or there. But I would notice that they would only come in when we were mooning. Like we were pushing this around the clock, like they're engaging people, shilling, encouraging people, and this and that, and just trying to engage a strong community like we always do.
Mm-hmm.
And these people would just, the call channels that had called this initially early on would just come in and say, oh, we're mooning, oh, wow, I called this at whatever market cap. And I came to find out later that, they called it a very early market cap, like around 3K, got a lot of supply, a lot of their audience got that supply as well. And God knows how much of the supply they had. So at that point, it kind of just wrecked the chart, like, because when we got down to like that 50K market cap, the G trap was closed. We started to, reverse it, and everybody was going in on it. But at that point, all the Jeets just took over. We got back to like 85, 90. I think it was like around 95. And you could see it on the chart if you look at it closely, where that big dip from 100 went down to 50, and it bounced almost all the way back up. But then those people, the people that had bought so early on, I think a lot of them they were still up, even at a 50K market cap, they were still up like a 20x. So to them, they were just like, well, this project's dead. From there, it just kind of like everybody sold and dumped the whole thing. And it's like, man, and it just kept dwindling and dwindling and dwindling into nothing. So it's like, all right, we have a really solid project with a really great community here. And the supply got put into the hands of the wrong people. So what are we going to do? Like,
that's what happens. This is what a chart looks like, y'all, whenever Jeets get a hold of your damn project.
Early on. Yep. Early on.
Yeah.
And it sucks because like Shibi, like I told Space Chick about it, and I was like, this is a really awesome project. I love this project. It's such a great community. Amazing people going around the clock. Just the energy is super hyped. She came in, she loved it too, and she ended up investing a little bit and won a last buy contest randomly when she bought in. And that was really cool. She got 0.25 ETH randomly out of it, of all people.
I know, I did. I was very excited, y'all. I did. I won some. I won about $400 in ETH. It was amazing. Like they paid it out to me and everything. It wasn't any BS. Sorry, Limitless. I had to throw that in there.
No, it's all good. But yeah, I mean, it was super fun. Like everybody was having a blast with it. And it kind of just, it killed the momentum because, it got all the way down. Like when people started selling, people started learning about these, like there was some weirdness in the Telegram. And this one girl had said that her support was that she bought 9% of supply, and that's what she did to support the project. Like early on, bought 9%. Everybody started like, getting panicking. They sold, realizing that a lot of people just had a ton of the supply. And, it's hard to recover from that, to be completely honest. Like it's really hard to recover. So I was talking behind the scenes with the dev. It's like, what are we going to do? Like good people, solid project. We literally thought that was going to go to like $200,000 to $500,000 market cap. And I firmly believe if we had been there from the beginning and hadn't had all of these Jeets with a ton of the supply, we would have been able to hold that 100K mark. We would have been able to push it just like we did with Super Saiyan before that went up to like, I don't know, 800,000 market cap because we got rid of the Jeets. We were able to and got in there early enough where we were able to make it happen. But, with something like this, there's only so much that you can do. If the buy pressure isn't there, people get tired. Like they buy the dips. But if you've got people up a 20x that are just draining every buy that you're putting in, it's impossible to overcome that. So we talked to the dev and I kind of just figured out what might be the best solution, and that's just he had originally wanted to launch on Shibarium anyway. So Shibarium's going to be coming out next month, and no hard dates have been set, but they're guesstimating sometime in February. And he had wanted to be one of the first projects to launch on Shibarium anyway. So we figured, okay, we can just wait until that point
Mhm.
and just allow all of this dust to settle. And I'm sure that the Jeets will have just gone at this point, like have dumped everything and just figured that it was dead or whatever, and just airdrop the true holders, airdrop the people that are still there, and also give the people that were really there pushing the whole time and really engaging the community, giving them maybe an opportunity at like an initial offering for LP, like a pre-sale type of situation. So that's kind of where we're at with everything. The
Mhm.
dev has been really receptive. Obviously, it's not a rug pull, or else the project would be gone. The dev would have disappeared. He's a genuine, authentic dev. I firmly believe that. And, I got to know him throughout the course of this project, and he's a great dude. And I truly value him as an individual and as a developer, and know that he wants to make a legacy. And that's where we were going with this. So, me personally, I don't think Shibi's dead at all. I think that it got into the hands of the wrong people
Mhm.
very early on, but now we're going to take control of that, because that's what Shibi has been from the beginning, is a war on Jeets. And I know that a lot of you may have seen comments or tweets, or I've definitely said that to Space Chick about where we're fighting the Jeets, and we're losing. That's what I told her when it was around a $26,000 market cap when she bought in. I said, we're fighting the Jeets, and at this point we're losing. And it's just so hard, but like that's what the whole premise of this project is the war on Jeets. How can we beat the Jeets? How can we overcome that, where the true legacy DeFi community gets the floor, holds the floor, and overcomes that? And so that's where we're at with Shibi. And it's just one of those things where we're going to have to work through it as a community, be patient with the dev, allow all the craziness to just kind of settle out. There's a lot of people that were wanting to continue to buy. Like, it's at like a 4 or 5 thousand market cap right now. People are like, can I please just buy? I just want to buy more. Like, I love this project. We're just like,
Mhm.
well, just hold off on the dev. Like, let the dev announce the plans, because it's up to him ultimately what he does. But like, just hold off, and let's see how this plays out. But people love Shibi Inu, and for good reason. Like, it's a very special project to me, and
Mhm.
it's definitely inspired me behind the scenes to create a much bigger tactical strategy in the war on Jeets. And Space Chick kind of knows what I'm talking about. Like, behind the scenes, there's a lot going on to prevent questionable bad actors from ruining good projects by exploiting communities. I even had people in Shibi coming up to me, like when we were mooning, like going to 50 and 80,000, 100,000. That this is the time when the Jeets would come in and they would make comments like, "Oh yeah, guys, keep working for my bag." Like, they don't care. They literally
Wow.
sit in the silence and find projects where people work hard, and then they exploit those hard workers by dumping on them and making it where the project just dies, unfortunately. So that's just the reality behind these questionable bad actors that get in at the very beginning of launches with no good intention. They don't care about the dev, they don't care about the project long term, they don't care about the roadmap, they don't care about the vision, they don't care about the community. They only care about themselves. So that's
It's
where,
true.
yeah.
The community, I went in there and I like this project. I like the community because I went in there, everyone's cool. I knew a whole bunch of the people that are in the community. I, there's something special about it. There is, and I feel like those Jeeps just smashed that chart, destroyed it. Is there any way that this project is going to be resurrected in any sort of way? Because even making True Money, he said he wanted to buy in. He says, "Yeah, I wanted to get into this project." So should I still invest or wait? Is there any plans? Is there any way they're going to revive this? Is there going to be a new contract? Is it going to be the same? Do you know, or anything like that?
Well, like I said, the V2, there's going to be a V2 as far as I understand from what the devs told me. And he's going to announce more information on this as it kind of rolls out, because it's going to be on Shibarium. That's Shiba Inu's blockchain that's coming out in February. So it's going to be one of the first projects that launches on Shibarium, which is pretty huge. I mean,
That is big.
like it's gonna be pretty epic, and so we're that's gonna be kind of the revival. Like, yeah, it sucks, everything crashed, ashes, a lot of people lost profits, a lot of people lost their whatever, but like the true holders, I think, are going to be fed into the larger legacy that's gonna kind of blossom from this out of the ashes. And nobody's anybody that held, like, they're going to be able to be taken care of in terms of some form or fashion that the dev will come up with, whether it be airdrops, whether it be an early sale of getting a max bag for cheap, or I mean, I don't know, like that. It's really up to him what he does, but his true intention is to definitely revive this, because Shibi Inu is way too good of a community, way too strong of a holder base, way too fierce. I mean, these people, we went on to Yawn World. We got Yawn World to say that this was his top micro cap project. I mean, literally, he would pull it up. He tweeted about it. We were rating his lives. We got Jake Gagan to pull it up.
Oh,
I mean, it was, everybody was looking at it, and Jake said, "It's probably not something I'd buy because it's a meme token," and I respect that. But Yawn World bought into it, and he was there from the very beginning, keeping an eye on it, and he finally bought into it when he saw us pushing heavy. He tweeted about it. That was the night that it mooned. It went to like 150,000 market cap, and as soon as his holders bought in, it was at 100 when he tweeted. It went to 150. As soon as they bought in, somebody dumped it all the way back to 80K, literally within seconds. So, I mean, this is how fierce the Jeet War was. I mean, like, but this was literally like, people were looking at this project, were loving it. Jan was in the Telegram talking about how amazing it was. So many good people. Believes is invested into it and loves it very much. Omni Finance did multiple videos on it. I think maybe one or two actually, and he really loves it too. Like, so many people that are relevant within the space were noticing Shibi Inu, and were engaging with the community because they saw how special that it was. And it was a lot of work. We were working 15 hours a day in that Telegram to build this community, all for it to just be ruined by some Jeets. I don't think so. I think this is really just the beginning. It's kind of the process that had to clear all of the trash out of there just to make way for the relevancy of where this is really headed.
man, I like that it's going to be on Shibarium. I like that. I like it's going to be on there. One of the first ones. That, to me, that piques my interest. I know that will pique the interest of the investors if you're wanting to dip in on it. I mean, how would you feel? What do you say to somebody who wants to buy some right now and then reap the benefits whenever all this does happen?
I know, right? Well, I mean, you just got to be patient. I mean, part of the narrative, I would say, if you go into the Telegram and type slash channel, you can see the actual channel for Shibi, and you, it has a separate channel with all the narrative of all of the different stories that have been told, kind of about Shibi. Shibi is like a Shiba Inu that is a warrior, like I said. And so if you go and read that, it kind of relates a lot to the journey of crypto. And I think that, if you read between the lines, you can see a lot of the similarities between what's happened and the story itself. And so I think that, for now, educating yourself on that alone will help you to make a better decision on just being patient and waiting for that relaunch to come into play, and being one of those first people there to engage. I mean, I know people want to buy it at $4,000 market cap and get a huge airdrop to be, have a massive supply whenever the V2 launches. But at the end of the day, that's just going to enable people to do the same thing again. And that's what we don't want. We don't want just a bunch of people buying a ton of supply at a cheap market cap to then be able to wreck V2 when we're sitting there working behind the scenes. So, the
Right.
dev's going to have to get creative when it comes to this. But as of right now, he's just kind of said to hold off with
Mhm.
updates and, keep the community alive, guys. Shibi's not going anywhere. I know we've been kind of a little bit just downtrodden since this whole thing happened. Like the engagement isn't the same as it was. But at the end of the day, Shibi Inu was like one of my favorite projects of this year because it's just like I'm in a lot of trash DeFi projects that end in 12 hours or 24 hours or a week at the most or whatever. But like this one felt like there was something really special going on. So keep an
Mhm.
eye on it. It's not going anywhere. Like despite what the chart may say, that was never the intention. We were intending to send this hard to $500,000 market cap. And I firmly believe that we could have done it if we had control of that supply a little better with relevant investors from the very beginning. So that will be your opportunity. I would say, like, look for that launch, be one of those golden floor holders, because the key to mooning a project, the key to actually sending it hard is to have relevant investors that hold the floor, that build the community by being active in Telegram, that shill hard and that bring in relevant investors and support the chart as needed if there's dips or whatever. That's literally all it takes, along with a base dev, with a solid network, with
Mhm.
money for marketing that can push out, alpha and marketing and calls and those types of things. That's literally all it takes to be successful. So for those wanting to invest, be strategic in what type of investor that you are. If you're a trash investor that just wants to dump on a strong community, it's probably not the project for you. I mean, we're not here to tell you to not to buy or sell or not to buy or sell, but this is a fierce community that's really trying hard to do something special in DeFi. We don't really want the people that sit in the sidelines and try to exploit strong communities and do nothing while we all work hard collectively to create a legacy. And that's
Mhm.
the frustration of DeFi. And we are going through great measures behind the scenes, not necessarily with this project, but just in general, to ensure that JEETs never get the floor again within projects that we deal with and we spend our time in. When we invest in a project, when me, myself, Limitless Ape invests in a project, I invest not only my money, but my time and my efforts. And I push hard. And a lot of you guys already know me and know my work ethic.
Mhm.
I push extremely hard and engage people and shill like crazy and do voice chats and do whatever to send that project. I am not going to be doing that anymore to get a bunch of people who are planning on exploiting everybody else rich while everybody else gets screwed and are left with a chart that looks like that. So at the end of the day, like, this has been eye opening for me, and this has happened before, but like, we are taking the measures. Jeets, if you're out there listening, Jeet callers and corrupt people who think they're getting early supply and getting in on launches, you are dead wrong. You are not going to find the projects that we invest into until you're buying the top. And I can guarantee you that, because we are not going to allow you to exploit good people anymore. End of story. This is exactly what has made a lot of projects that we work hard on fail completely, is because people get that supply early and just take advantage of the people who are working hard while they sit there and do nothing other than commenting once in a while when the project is mooning, acting like they were the ones that built the legacy.
So, Limitless, you're very passionate about this and what happened. I can tell. I mean, you're very upset, and rightfully so. The dev, from my understanding, wasn't even able to roll out any utility. What can this token do? What is there anything you can tell us? Any alpha like that? Because what's up, y'all? I see y'all in here. And there's something else wanted to ask you, but what was the utility that was going to roll out, or was there a utility already there? I didn't see it on the web page.
Well, there wasn't really a utility that rolled out initially. I think it was mostly just a meme token that was very community driven, which that's kind of cliche. A lot of these Shiba Inu projects do that. That same type of mindset. But I believe that the dev was working on greater utilities, and I think that he's going to have more. He's told me a little bit behind the scenes, but nothing that's like been announced yet. So I can't say for certain what those utilities are, but I will say that he is definitely looking to do something special, to provide something. And I think that what we had really throughout that project was just that utility of community, of fighting a war. Like to it was that was the fun of the project, is like, all right, we are in the war against cheats. Are we going to be able to win? Like for us, it wasn't even like about the money necessarily. It was just about, are we going to be able to do this? Can we do this where we are, who we are, with the strength we have, the floor strength we have, the investor strength, and the community strength? Is it enough to overcome what started? And it kind of like the project kind of blossomed into that. From the beginning, it was just like, engaging the community and trying to get people to get excited and push the information out there and get more people in. But it quickly became, we are going to try to gain control of this floor tactically. And we did it for a while. Like we like I said, we pushed it to 150K, and I believe that we could have went higher. But there comes that point where you can only do so much. But yeah, utility community really was the big utility. There will be more utilities that will be kind of announced by the dev at some point. But I think more than anything right now, he's just trying to come up with a solution that's going to best suit the people that are still here, the people that really spent a lot of time and effort on this legacy, and kind of ensuring the integrity and the safety of the project moving forward, so that this same thing doesn't happen again in V2. Because people were saying like, just airdrop everybody, and that's the best solution. But if you do that at that moment, and you have a bunch of people with a ton of supply, it's just going to recreate that same issue. So it's a hard one. I mean, there's no easy solution to overcome this, because once a bunch of supply gets into the hands of the wrong people, they will probably not do good with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was the dev in the Telegram calling anybody any names, calling them any jeets or anything like that?
I don't think so. I mean,
What's up, Cool and Chris and DJ? All y'all, I see you. As a dev, calling people jeets is a huge. Did you, Cool and Chris? Did you experience that, or again, you need to learn not to talk? Ladybug
hey, what's up,
loves
Ladybug?
you. Yes, we got Vault Inu Army in the space cabin. How a person invests shouldn't be anyone's business, but that person. Uh, what does this do? Determines what kind of investors your project has. All right, Space, I'm sorry, but I can't listen to this. Oh, cool and Chris. Cool and Chris. Okay, can we please stop launching tokens that have utility can we please stop launching tokens and not have utility in place, or at least know what the utility will be? Scum devs created meme tokens to pump. I think what it was is, it looks to me like that there wasn't a chance to even do anything. What's up, Boss Fam? What's up, Burn by Saitama? What's up, Vault Fam? I think that's what happened, y'all. That's just my opinion, what I saw, because the community was building, everyone was stoked, and then the chart just kept going down, 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 and it was because a lot of people had a lot of the supply. Do you I mean, I don't know, is that the reason, or that he didn't roll out with it yet? He just didn't have time? Is that, I mean, is that far-fetched to think that? I know it's probably the same way. It's probably the same question, just I'm asking you different. Um, it's not enough. You need utility, aka business income. That's how investing works. You can just sell hype and have no idea what people are investing into. I guess these devs going to stop making these crap tokens, but can everyone please stop putting their money into the meme coins that have no utility? Project has to have a way to make money. What's up, Crypto Surfer? What were they stoked about? They were happy. It was a bunch of people from similar projects that were in there together. I know I saw some from different projects that I'm in the Telegram. Everybody was excited. A lot of people said it had a lot of the similar energy from other communities that they have been in also. And so I think that's what it was. It was That's what they were stoked about, is knowing that something new was coming and there was going to be something more. That's how I took it as an investor. Of course, the chart will go down, DJ says, because there's no reason for anybody to hold on their tokens. When you have utility, people have reason to hold even when something bad happens. Yeah, I mean, that is true.
Yeah, good point.
Okay. Well, so this is going to be relaunch. Is there going to be any NFTs? Are you able to tell me anything about this?
I mean, honestly, like I'm really just an investor, like everybody else. I mean, I helped out with the community like I always do. Like I'm always there in community to help out, but I'm not a developer. So, I mean, I can't really say what the development plans are or what he's working on, because, that's just you can't announce things for other people. That's just not really the way it works. As much as I would like to tell you guys, yes, there's this and this, it's not my project. I mean, it's, we all invested and dropped money into this, and it's just one of those things. But
so you're not a dev. You are
yeah,
helping, like you do. Like everybody knows Limitless out here in the space, y'all. If he likes a project, he's going to help it out. So just to clarify, I want to make sure people know that you are not part of the dev team of this project.
yeah,
whatsoever.
exactly. I mean, I build community wherever I go. I don't invest in projects, I invest in communities. So like when I see a solid community and potential, I help out. And I'm invested in a lot of projects that I don't have time to build community to, but I see the potential of the community, even if I'm in the background, just because, as much as I want to help out with everything, it's a full-time job. I work full time in DeFi. So like my time is spread everywhere between Volt Inu, between other projects that I help out in, and it's just it's a lot of work, honestly. And a lot of times I'm like, why do I even spend so much time and effort on these things just to get exploited, to have other people take advantage, to have other people just dump? And sure, like someone said, how somebody buys or sells is their business. I agree. Like nobody's telling you you can't buy or you can't sell, but that's the problem with DeFi. The problem with DeFi is trash investors that don't know how to hold a floor and don't know how to grow a project because they're unwilling to put in the time or effort to build a legacy. And to me, those people should not be in DeFi. They don't deserve the gains that they get for just clicking a button, sitting there on the sidelines and doing nothing. In my personal opinion, those people should be going to work. They should be slaving away at a 40 to 50 hour a week job because they're not willing to actually build the legacy. When you buy into a project, it's the same thing as buying into a business. When you buy a business, you don't sit there on the sidelines and do nothing and expect it to be profitable. You come back to a failed business if you go out and leave it for 6 months and come back and you haven't done anything. It's the same thing in crypto. Input equals output. If you're not willing to work for the legacy that you're investing into, it is going to fail. End of story. And sure, people don't want to hear that. They're sick of hearing it. They don't want to listen to me. That's perfectly fine. And I'll tell you now that there were a lot of people in the group that were mad that we were talking about you have to put in the work, you have to build the legacy, you have to put in your time. They don't want to hear that because they don't want to do it. And some people got mad and sold when we were saying, hey, you guys have to help shill, you have to help push this. Like, you have to build a legacy. You can't just sit there on the sidelines and do nothing. People don't want to hear that. And so, again, that's why I'm very selective in the projects that I work with. And I'm going to be very selective in when I enter projects, because if I'm entering after a bunch of people who have bought on the bottom, that have a ton of supply and they're sitting there doing nothing, I'm not going to spend my time and energy 15 hours a day in there building a community just for them to dump on everybody. It's just not going to happen. And maybe you don't want to hear that. I don't care personally, because I am going to come up with solutions where you will never be able to do that again. Hate it, don't hate it. I got a lot of haters out there, a lot of people who hate Limitless Ape, and a lot of people who respect Limitless Ape. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We move forward, we do what we can, and we continue to build the legacy that we have started, whether you like it or not.
I think for him to launch, I mean, just as an investor sitting back, I mean, I got into it. It was a few days in, y'all. Whenever I got into it, I literally, from what I saw when I was in the community, for what, how many days was I in it? Like 2 days,
Something
three
like that. Yeah.
days, something like that. What I saw as an investor was the community building and the utility gonna be rolled out. But for him to have a version two, I'm thinking, well, maybe he's not done. He has something he wants to offer. The space, and for him to want to get, I mean, to continue. I mean, I see that. I'm trying to be optimistic about it. Also, I'm trying
Hmm.
to see both sides of the token, as my dad would say. But like for on one end, someone could think, okay, well, he just wrecked the chart and we're gonna have him come back again and he's gonna do it again to everybody. That's what some people would think, let's be
Hmm.
honest. And then especially if it's just community based. But in my opinion, I'm thinking for him to want to continue this and be one of the first ones on Shibarium, right? You were saying?
Hmm.
And he's not, he has something to offer the investors and for this project, such as a utility. That's how I was seeing it. But I mean, am I wrong for thinking that, or is there, I mean,
I mean, nobody knows really. I mean, anything you invest in, it's a risk, guys. Come on, let's be realistic. Like anything that you buy could be down immediately, could be up immediately, could be gone within an hour. Like there have been projects I invest into. The Telegram is just gone an hour later. Like we have all of these risks. Ethereum and Bitcoin go up and down. Like, we don't know. It could go to zero. We don't know. But at the end of the day, like, I'm going to continue to support Shibi. When it relaunches, I'm going to be there to support it. And I'm going to try to continue to just help the dev behind the behind the scenes, just to do whatever we can to make this a good community project like it was shaping up to be. I mean, at the end of the day, we can't control who buys or sells, when they buy or sell. The people didn't do anything wrong for buying a bunch of supply. There was no max wallet. It's not like they're doing anything wrong. I just think that maybe there just wasn't that proper execution from the first place in terms of, you know, max wallets, because that's what they're for, is to protect people from being able to exploit those things and getting a ton of supply for next to nothing when the project first launches. So, like whatever we can do to help with a strong community, that's what I'm here for. And yeah, I do help out a lot of projects, a lot of communities, and I will continue to do that because I firmly believe that the devs that are based and well networked, well connected, and are working hard for their communities are the ones that I want to assist when it comes to helping them build a legacy that maybe they couldn't do on their own. So I bring good people together and I try to help build projects up. But a lot of times it doesn't work out, other times it does. It just really depends on the development team, the community, the utility, as someone mentioned earlier. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it, that on whether a project survives or not. And it's really hard for projects to survive long term unless, like someone said, unless you have a strong utility or a reason to continue to hold. So I completely agree with that. I just think that Shibi really didn't get to that next level. It didn't have the opportunity to have those things announced. It didn't have the ability to have that additional phases on the roadmap that were being worked on behind the scenes by the dev. I believe that he had a lot more in mind and in store than a lot of us got to see.
I think also this tax, I know with Vault Inu, they have 13% tax, and it's for a reason, because for, the Jeet traps, and, I hardly use the word Jeets, but I've been saying it more and more lately. I've been noticing. Maybe because the tax was so low, people thought they could just, free roll it and just keep on playing with that chart until they killed it. And do you think that the tokenomics are going to change next time? Or, man, Limitless, I wish I could get the dev in here, because I feel really bad asking you these questions, because I really commend you for coming in here, honestly, and doing
Mhm.
this and talking to me about this in front of everybody, because you know what? You didn't have to do this. Um, and you're working like you when you're invested in a project. I've seen you work for your bags. You do bring people together. You help out a community, any community that you get into. So for you to like something, you wanted to help drive it in everything. I do believe that. And I maybe we can get also you and the dev on here one day so people can ask him questions also.
Well,
He's more than welcome.
he's somebody who said that he's completely anonymous, and this was before any of this happened. I mean, it was like
Okay.
kind of like Voltoshi, like
Yeah.
completely anonymous and doesn't want to do voice chats and any of that kind of stuff. And again, it's not because this happened. This was when the project was at 150K. Like I was like, hey man, we should do some voice chats and AMAs, and he was just like, I just prefer to stay anonymous, because that's just the way that I am and the way that I operate. So I respect that. Like, I don't think you have to be doxxed and going out there and doing all of that kind of stuff to be a solid dev. I don't agree with that at all, because look at the legacy that Voltoshi has built without ever doxing or without ever going on to voice chat or ever doing AMAs. He has other people do it for him, like Pablo Crow and some
Mhm.
of the other influencers out there. But
Mhm.
if you have the right formula, that's really all it takes. It doesn't have to be you putting your face and your voice out there. But I came on here because I truly care about this community, and it's special to me. And we helped to build it from the very beginning when there was literally nobody in there. Like I said, built it from the ashes. And it's not even about like being grilled or asked questions. Like, I don't care about that. I'm here. I could have very easily, just deleted the Telegram and moved on to something else. But it's a special project, and I've left other projects, like other projects that don't do it for me. Like, just like everybody, we have the freedom to buy or sell. I've left them and never looked back, and it happens all the time. But Shibi Inu, I'm here for a reason, because I firmly believe that this project is much deeper than a lot of us realize, based on the amount of community vibe that we had when it was at its peak, and when we were building a pretty strong support system all the way up.
I think if I was to suggest anything, what's up, Kim? We love Kim here in the space cabin. Um, I agree with F Joe with this. There, I mean, the investors are different this year than they were last year, or the year before that. So people are wanting that utility right off the bat. You know what I mean? They want that, and so I know as a dev, I've heard from the Vault Inu Army, like Valtoshi and them, Pablo and them saying, you know, Valtoshi didn't want to roll something out yet because there would be a lot of copycats. So I'm just thinking, well, maybe that's why he didn't do it yet. But maybe this next time on the version 2, he'll have more time to replan that whole idea, because it is true. People do want to know what utility it is. And he's going to have to change those tokenomics for those people, or how he launches it, because those
Mm-hmm.
people really ate that up and spit it out, that
Yeah,
chart. Sadly, sadly.
yeah, yeah.
Let me see. What did you say? Limitless is the best. We will try. I know limit. I love Limitless.
Yeah,
I
and guys, as people saying that I'm the dev, like I've never been a dev, and I would never be a dev in a project. And people ask me
Joe,
all the
you're
time.
saying Limitless is the dev. Limitless, tell us now.
I mean, I wish I could take credit for it, to be honest, guys, but like, I will never be a dev. It's just not. I don't know anything about smart contracts or coding or any of that behind the scenes stuff. Like, it's beyond my scope of understanding. I'm a technical person, but I just don't have any interest. And with projects, like when you become a dev of a project, like that's your thing. Like, you are imprinting your legacy on that project, and I just couldn't do that, because projects come and go. Like, I can't just be married to one thing and say, yes, this is exactly mine 100%. I can't do that. I'm an investor like you guys. Like, we want the freedom to be able to say, you know what, this project isn't doing it for me anymore because of XYZ, or because the dev didn't do this, or the community, or whatever. There's no marketing plans. I'm going to take my efforts somewhere else. Every one of us has that freedom, and a dev does not have that freedom. So I actually respect devs that are solid and reputable and try really hard. And I'll tell you now that there's a lot of devs that work really hard on projects and they still fail. Like the base devs,
Uh-huh.
a lot of times they completely fail, even though they're in there. Like I've seen devs in there, everybody else has left. They're the only ones there engaging people, trying to get people to be revved up. And it's like, this is a solid base dev. How often do you see that? So, like, I've known some good devs and I've known some trash devs too that I've worked with. And I'm not going to mention any names. They know who they are. They leave Telegram groups when I enter. Okay. I'm not
We
even
know who
kidding.
some of them are too.
I mean, I literally went into a private
Um,
whale chat a couple of weeks ago that somebody invited me to, and one of them immediately exited the group. And you could see XYZ has left the group as soon as I joined. And the people were like, hey, what's going on with that? And I told them, hey, it's just, background information. That person knows that I know what they do and they don't want to be exposed. And I'm not one to, like, you want to be trashy, you want to be corrupt, you want to be exploitative of people, be my guest. But at the end of the day, it's going to come back on you, and you are going to end up a very lonely, miserable person if you're not building the right legacy in DeFi and you're doing it just to scam people. You're going to be miserable, and you're going to regret all you're going to wonder why nobody wants anything to do with you at the end of the day, because you will dwindle your network into nothing if those are your intentions.
I think you should make your own crypto. I really do. Call it
No.
limitless, and then I mean, even Kim. Well, Kim said she'd buy it. She
Well,
said,
I'm
"I
sure
will
a lot of
full
people
send."
would, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know any, I don't have the experience. I have experience building community. That's it. And yeah, some would say that would make for a good dev or whatever, but I don't want that kind of responsibility. I
Edjo
don't.
really has his money set on you being the dev of this project.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I mean, that's fine. And the passive aggressive comments, like, I don't have to be here, guys. Like, literally,
mm-mm.
like, I'm here because I value everybody that's in the community. Like, at the end of the day, I'm here for everybody and to try to help this succeed. I could just, we could have canceled this. Hey, Space Chick,
Mhm.
this project just kind of rugged or crashed or
It was
whatever.
on
And
a green candle whenever we set up this AMA. DJ says, Limitless, why are you holding on this project so much? I just feel like you're going very hard to make excuses in favor of this project. You could just let it be and see what happens. Just wondering.
Well, that's a good question, and the reason for that is because I've put a lot of work into this project. So, like, it's kind of my baby, Like, we built this up, and it was very strong and pretty amazing. And so, like anything in life, if you have a hobby or a passion, you've been working on a car for 10 months and you finally got it restored, and then somebody says, why do you care so much about that? Why are you, continuing to try to work on this and get it fixed so that you can run this car and drive it everywhere? It's the same principle. Like, if you put your time and effort into something,
Hmm.
then you want it to succeed. Like, it'd be so much easier for me to not be here and just say, oh, the project failed, whatever, it is what it is, let's move on. And in a lot of ways, we do move on as investors. We got to keep grinding, we got to, make money, we got to do what we do. But there's still something about the special projects that speak to me. I've left a lot of projects behind. This is one that I feel had a lot more going on than a lot of us realize. And it is hard to tell from looking at the chart, even when it was pumping, from looking at the chart, reading the website, there's not much there. Like, people would say, it's just a trashy project with no utility and it's going to crash in a week or whatever. Like, just looking at it, they would say that based on the way it was building up and all of that. But when you come into the Telegram, at least before all of this craziness happened, there was just an energy there, and a lot of people felt it, and a lot of people realized it, and that's what drew them in. That's what made Yawn World say that this was his number one pick for. And you can go back to his live streams and see it, where he pulled it up. He said this was his top microcap gem, and that he felt like it had the truest potential. He said that over and over again. because of the community, because of what was built. So yeah, I hang on to this because I want it to be what we were trying to make it. It's easy to abandon it. Like it's easy to just give up and move on to the next thing, but we're sick of doing that. We want the legacy. We want to take these projects and build them up into, instead of being a 12-hour project, they can now be a 6 month to a year project with a long-term vision and a mid cap instead of a micro cap that is sustained with volume, with strong community, and with a base dev. That's what I do. I build community up and try to help these projects get to the next level and be self-sustained. Can I be there forever? Of course not, because it's a ton of work. But I always, anything that I involve myself with, I want it to be successful. It feels like part of my business. It feels like part of my legacy. And I don't want to be in that situation where it just dies. There have been situations in the past with rug pulls that I worked on for like 6 or 8 months to have a corrupt dev scam us all and scam hundreds of thousands of people. That's a situation where you give up because there is no solution. But this particular situation, it's not really that simple.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, DJ Cool Guy, for the super sticker. I appreciate you so very much. So very much for the super sticker. Army Veteran says, will Limitless be helping us with Space Chick Crypto Feet Pick NFTs? Were you there? On my space cabin that day, we ran into some feet NFTs.
I must have
Great.
missed that one.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Army Veteran, and also Choleric. Hey, Space Chick, sorry I've been missing you. Had an issue with my notifications. Don't know what's going on here, but good luck. Just buy Volt. It will be okay, he says.
That's right.
Yeah, stay fam.
Volt is my baby. Like Volt is my home. I have, I'm a top 400 wallet in Volt, and I always add when I do degen plays, I bring it back to Volt because that's my home base. That's my, everybody there is just amazing. And while I'm not there as much the past couple weeks because I've just been all over the place, Volt is just where I belong, and it's what I really feel drawn to in terms of community and legacy. So like, yes, Volt in you is amazing. Any project out there, use Volti change, because that's going to burn supply for Volt and it's going to burn the native supply. You can add the widget to your website and we can help you with that and get you a tweet from Volt. Any project is available to do that, and it takes like 5 minutes to add the widget onto your website. It's drag and drop code. So you can reach me on Telegram if you're a project and you want the Volti change widget added. We'll do that and we'll get the info over to Voltoshi so that they can make a tweet for you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yes. I know Limitless, you're busy. I know you have to go. But you really were in the hot seat tonight. I'm so sorry, Limitless. Thank
Oh,
you.
it's fine. Like it's all good. A hater's gonna hate. Like they can blame me. They can do what I mean. Like at the end of the day, we're all investors here to help each other, and we are doing a lot behind the scenes to make sure that this doesn't happen anymore. Okay, and like while we can't prevent everything, we are taking great effort to ensure that relevant investors who want to build the legacy and community and don't want to sit on the sideline being lazy and doing nothing and then dumping on everybody, we are going to ensure that that is not going to happen anymore. And we can't do it for every project, for everything out there, but we are going to come up with a solution where these exploitative investors are no longer rising to the top while the hard workers are left holding their bags, wondering what happened, still believing that the legacy can continue when they have minus 10x on their initial investment and have put in all the work to bring legends into the space. So, stay tuned, guys. This is just the beginning for Shibi Inu, and this is a new year. We've all learned a lot last year with DeFi. We have a long way to go in terms of gaining experience. And I think that 2023 is going to be a huge year for every single one of us.
Yeah, I think so too. I think everyone's out there looking for that gym, that crypto gym. not the workout gym, y'all. Gym.
Hmm.
I think that's what everyone's doing right now. So we're gonna be looking. I'm gonna be following up with this project. I'm very curious how this is all going to turn out, because this is a good prime example of many, many things in the space that are wrong, things that could go right. So I want to know what's going on with this project. I'm going to be sticking with keeping up with this project. Winston, you said in March or February we might be hearing about a version 2.
Yeah, whenever Shibarium comes out, which I think there's rumors it's going to come out sometime in February, but there's no hard date set at this point.
Oh, so you're not gonna yell at Shaitoshi and tell him, or make him tell you?
Probably just get banned from Twitter again, like usual.
Oh my God, that's so crazy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you so much for all the super chats, everybody. I appreciate y'all. I love you so much. All of the super chats, all the donations go right back into supporting the Space Cabin and Army Veteran. I know I need to put it in my description box. I know I'll do it. Army Veteran sent me some B&B one day. He was like,
Nice.
here's for your bag, because I didn't have a B&B bag. But I'm going to be following up on this project for sure. I'm going to be following up with you, and I appreciate you being here. I know it was, you held your own in here, and I respect you for that. So, but thank you, Limitless, for coming on in. Is there any last words you would like to say?
No, not really. I appreciate all of you guys, value you, continue building the legacy in DeFi, guys, and do your part. Put in the effort when you invest in something. Don't just sit there on the sidelines, or you're going to see a lot more projects that just fail because we don't put in the effort. Your effort can make a huge difference in the success of a project or the failure of a project. So keep up the great work, guys. Be self-aware with all that you do with your investment strategies, and make sure to send super chats, smash that like, show support, subscribe to Space Chick, share this video everywhere. Let everybody know. Let everybody know this is an important lesson for people to hear, whether they want to hear it or not, whether they can stand to listen to it or not. These are the things that, we have these uncomfortable conversations for a reason, because they need to be said.
Mm-hmm. I know I wanted to know and learn more, and I'm glad that we are going over this. And I think this is going to be an example, a shining example, hopefully, for sure. Or it's going to be, it could be just another story tucked away and another meme coin project forgot about. And we don't want that. We want, people that work hard to get in, and people to get their money. I don't wish bad on anybody. I hope this project does take off. And I think with some good people standing behind it and pushing it, and with good utility rolls out right along with that version 2, along with some fresh tokenomics with the taxes, so we don't have that, big old jump into a red pool. I mean, those are just, I'm not a dev. Those are just my suggestions as an investor sitting on the outside. But yeah. Well, thank you so much, Limitless, for coming on by. And we will follow up with this and maybe something else before this too, though. You'll be back in here.
Yeah, absolutely. All the time.
I
Whenever.
love you. You're great.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you for all that you do in the space. And guys, show some support for real. And yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you on the next one.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.